Have you ever felt like the world is against you? Like no matter what you do, success and wealth just slip through your fingers? Well, what if I told you that the key to changing all that is already inside you? It's not about working harder or being smarter, it's about trusting the universe. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trust the universe? That sounds like something out of a fortune cookie. But stick with me, because this idea is more powerful than you might think. Trusting the universe isn't about sitting back and waiting for good things to fall into your lap. It's about understanding that you're part of something bigger and that your thoughts and feelings have a real impact on the world around you. When you trust the universe, you're opening yourself up to possibilities you might never have imagined. You're saying, I'm ready for good things to come my way, and believe it or not, the universe listens. Think about it like this. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the luck? Things just work out for them, time and time again. It's not because they're special or blessed, it's because they have a different relationship with the world around them. They trust that things will work out, and somehow they usually do. That's the power of trusting the universe, and it's a power that's available to all of us. Now, you might be wondering, why should I care about all this? What's in it for me? Well, let me tell you, the stakes are higher than you might think. If you don't learn to trust the universe, you could be missing out on some amazing opportunities. It's like you're walking around with blinders on, only seeing a tiny part of what's possible in your life. When you don't trust the universe, you're always on edge. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And guess what? When you're in that mindset, bad things do tend to happen more often. It's like you're sending out a signal that says, I'm expecting the worst. And the universe responds by giving you exactly that. But when you start to trust, something magical happens. You start to relax. You start to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. And as you open up to the possibilities, more and more good things start to come your way. It's not always big, dramatic changes. Sometimes it's little things like finding a parking spot right when you need it, or bumping into an old friend who offers you a great job opportunity. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Learning to trust the universe can be challenging. It means letting go of a lot of old habits and beliefs. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and taking some risks. But let me tell you, the rewards are worth it. When you trust the universe, you're not just improving your chances of wealth and success, you're changing your whole experience of life. You're moving from a place of fear and scarcity to a place of love and abundance. And that, my friends, is priceless. Okay, so we've talked about why trusting the universe is important, but how does it actually work? This is where we need to talk about something I call the universal mirror principle. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, it's pretty simple once you understand it. The universal mirror principle says that the universe is like a giant mirror, reflecting back to us what we put out. It's not just reflecting our actions, but our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs too. If you believe the world is a harsh, unfair place, guess what? The universe will show you evidence of that everywhere you look. But if you believe the world is full of opportunities and that good things are coming your way, that's what you'll start to see more and more. Let me give you a simple example. Have you ever bought a new car and suddenly you start seeing that same model everywhere? The cars were always there, but you never noticed them before. Now that you're focused on it, your brain is picking them out of the crowd. That's a small example of how your focus shapes your reality. Now let's apply this to something bigger, like your financial situation. If you're always worried about money, always thinking, I never have enough, you're sending out a signal to the universe that says scarcity. And the universe, like a loyal friend, says, you got it. Here's more evidence of not having enough. But if you start to shift your thinking, if you start to appreciate the money you do have and believe that more is on its way, you start to send out a different signal. And bit by bit, your financial situation starts to change. This doesn't mean that if you think about being a millionaire for 5 minutes, a bag of cash will fall from the sky. Remember, the universe isn't magic, it works through real-world channels. But when you change your inner world, you start to notice opportunities you might have missed before. You might feel more confident asking for a raise, or you might spot a business opportunity that you would have overlooked in the past. The universal mirror principle isn't just about money, though. It applies to every area of your life. Your relationships, your health, your career, they're all affected by the energy you're putting out into the world. And the beautiful thing is, once you understand this principle, you can start to use it to your advantage. You can start to consciously shape your reality by changing what you're projecting into the universal mirror. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds too good to be true. If it were this easy, wouldn't everyone be doing it? And you're right to be skeptical. The universal mirror principle is simple, but that doesn't mean it's always easy to apply. It takes practice, patience, and persistence. But the good news is, you don't have to be perfect at it for it to start working in your life. Even small shifts in your thinking can start to create ripples of change. Think of it like learning to play an instrument. When you first start, you might hit a lot of wrong notes. But you don't give up just because you're not instantly playing like a pro. You keep practicing, and slowly but surely, you get better. Working with the universal mirror principle is the same. You might not see huge changes overnight, but if you stick with it, you'll start to notice your life changing in amazing ways. So, how do you start applying the universal mirror principle in your life? The first step is to become more aware of your thoughts and feelings. Start paying attention to the story you're telling yourself about your life. Are you constantly focusing on what's going wrong? Are you always expecting the worst? Once you're aware of these patterns, you can start to change them. Try this simple exercise. Each night before you go to bed, think of 3 things that went well that day. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you had a really good cup of coffee, or you got a compliment from a coworker, or you saw a beautiful sunset. By focusing on the good things, you're starting to shift your energy. You're telling the universe, hey, I'm noticing the good stuff. Send more my way. Another powerful way to work with the universal mirror principle is through affirmations. These are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. For example, you might say, I am worthy of abundance, or good things are always coming my way. At first, these might feel a bit silly or unbelievable. That's okay. Remember, you're learning a new skill. Keep at it, and eventually, these new thoughts will start to feel more natural. It's also important to pay attention to your emotions. The universe doesn't just respond to your thoughts, it responds to your feelings too. In fact, many spiritual teachers believe that your emotions are even more powerful than your thoughts when it comes to shaping your reality. So try to cultivate feelings of gratitude, joy, and excitement about the future. The more you can genuinely feel these positive emotions, the more you're aligning yourself with the abundance of the universe. Now, I want to be clear about something. The universal mirror principle isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect when it's not. It's not about putting on a fake smile and saying everything is great when you're really struggling. It's about acknowledging where you are, but also believing in where you want to go. It's about saying, okay, this is my situation right now, but I believe it can get better, and I'm open to the ways that might happen. Remember, the universe isn't judging you. It's not deciding whether you deserve good things or not. It's simply responding to the energy you're putting out. So be kind to yourself as you're learning to work with this principle. If you catch yourself thinking negatively, don't beat yourself up about it. Just gently redirect your thoughts to something more positive. As you start to work with the universal mirror principle, you might find that your definition of success and wealth starts to change. You might realize that true wealth isn't just about having a lot of money in the bank. It's about feeling abundant in all areas of your life. It's about having rich, fulfilling relationships, doing work that you love, and feeling a sense of purpose and connection to something bigger than yourself. And here's something really cool. As you start to feel more abundant, you'll naturally want to share that abundance with others. You might find yourself becoming more generous, more willing to help others, and guess what? That generosity gets reflected back to you too. It's like you're creating a positive feedback loop of abundance. The universal mirror principle is a powerful tool, but it's not a quick fix or a magic solution. It's a new way of approaching life, a new way of understanding your relationship with the world around you. It takes time and practice to really internalize this principle and start seeing big changes in your life. But even small shifts can start to make a difference. So I encourage you to start experimenting with this principle in your own life. Start small. Maybe choose one area of your life where you'd like to see some changes and begin to consciously shift your thoughts and feelings about that area. Notice the little synchronicities and positive changes that start to occur. And remember, the universe is always responding to you. The question is, what kind of reflection do you want to see? Let's talk about something really important: your relationship with the universe. Now, I know that might sound a bit strange. You might be thinking, how can I have a relationship with something I can't see or touch? But bear with me, because understanding this relationship is key to unlocking your inner power. Think about your relationships with people. Some are good, some are not so good, right? Well, it's the same with the universe. And just like with people, your relationship with the universe is shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. If you're always thinking that life is hard, that nothing ever goes your way, guess what? You're telling the universe, hey, I expect things to be tough. And the universe, being the good listener it is, says, okay, if that's what you want, here's more tough stuff. It's not trying to be mean, it's just giving you what you're asking for. But here's the good news. You can change this relationship. You can start telling the universe a different story. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, start noticing what's going right. Even if it's small things at first. Maybe you got a parking spot right in front of the store, or your favorite song came on the radio. These might seem like little things, but they're signs that the universe is on your side. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect when it's not. That's not realistic. But you can choose to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. When something goes wrong, instead of thinking, why does this always happen to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this? How can this help me grow? Here's a simple exercise you can do to start improving your relationship with the universe. Every night before you go to bed, think of 3 good things that happened that day. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you had a really tasty lunch, or you got a text from a friend, or you saw a beautiful sunset. Write these things down if you can. Doing this exercise regularly does 2 important things. First, it trains your brain to start noticing more good things in your life. Second, it sends a message to the universe that you're grateful for what you have. And when you're grateful, you open yourself up to receiving even more good things. Remember, the universe isn't some stern judge deciding if you deserve good things or not. It's more like a mirror reflecting back what you put out. So the more you can cultivate positive thoughts and feelings, the more positive experiences you'll attract into your life. Now that we've talked about building a good relationship with the universe, let's tackle something that trips up a lot of people: the waiting game. Because here's the thing: when you start trusting the universe, things don't always change overnight, and that can be really frustrating. You might start doing all the right things, thinking positive thoughts, feeling grateful, believing in abundance, but then you look around and everything seems the same. Your bank account hasn't magically filled up. Your dream job hasn't fallen into your lap. It's tempting to think, this isn't working. Maybe I should just give up. But here's where patience comes in. Think of it like planting a garden. When you plant seeds, you don't see results right away. For a while, it looks like nothing's happening. But under the soil, those seeds are growing roots. They're gathering strength. And if you keep watering and tending to them, eventually they'll break through the surface and start to bloom. It's the same with the changes you're trying to create in your life. Just because you can't see results yet doesn't mean nothing's happening. Things are shifting beneath the surface. New opportunities are taking root. But it takes time for these changes to show up in your everyday life. This is where trust comes in. You have to trust that the universe is working in your favor, even when you can't see it. This can be really hard, especially if you've been disappointed a lot in the past. But remember, every time you choose trust over doubt, you're sending a powerful message to the universe. You're saying, I believe in good things and I'm ready to receive them. So how do you keep believing when you don't see results yet? Here are a few tips. First, celebrate small wins. Maybe you haven't landed your dream job yet, but did you have a really good interview? That's progress. Maybe you haven't reached your savings goal yet, but have you started putting a little aside each month? That's worth celebrating. Second, keep taking action. Trust in the universe doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means doing your part while believing that the universe will meet you halfway. So keep working towards your goals, even when it feels like nothing's happening. Third, use affirmations. These are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. Something like, good things are coming my way, or I trust in the perfect timing of the universe. At first, these might feel a bit silly or unbelievable. That's okay. Keep saying them anyway. Over time, they'll start to sink in and shape your beliefs. Fourth, surround yourself with supportive people. It's hard to keep believing when everyone around you is negative. Try to spend time with people who believe in you and support your dreams. Their positive energy will help keep you motivated. Remember, patience doesn't mean waiting forever. If something's really not working, it's okay to try a different approach, but give things time to unfold. Trust that the universe has a plan, even if you can't see it yet, and keep your eyes open for unexpected opportunities. Sometimes the universe delivers what we need in surprising ways. All right, now let's talk about something that can really transform your life: focusing on the good stuff. This might sound simple, but it's actually pretty powerful. You see, our brains are wired to notice threats and problems. It's a survival thing from way back when we had to watch out for dangerous animals. But in today's world, this tendency can work against us. Think about it. How often do you find yourself dwelling on what's going wrong in your life? Maybe you're worried about bills, or you're upset about something someone said to you, or you're stressed about a deadline at work. It's normal to think about these things, but if that's all you're focusing on, you're telling the universe, hey, send me more of this stuff to worry about. But here's the good news. You can train your brain to focus on the positive instead. And when you do this, you start to attract more positive experiences into your life. It's like tuning a radio. If you're always tuned to the problem station, that's all you'll hear. But when you switch to the good stuff station, suddenly you start noticing all the great things happening around you. First, Practice gratitude. Every day, take a few minutes to think about what you're grateful for. It could be big things like your health or your family, or small things like a good cup of coffee or a sunny day. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're literally rewiring your brain to notice more good things. Second, reframe negative situations. When something bad happens, try to find the silver lining. Maybe you lost your job, but now you have the opportunity to find work you really love. Maybe you had a fight with a friend, but it's a chance to improve your communication skills. There's usually some good in every situation if you look for it. Third, visualize what you want, not what you don't want. Instead of worrying about not having enough money, imagine yourself feeling financially secure. Instead of fearing failure, picture yourself succeeding. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between what's real and what's imagined, so these positive visualizations can help shape your reality. Fourth, pay attention to your self-talk. That's the voice in your head that comments on everything you do. Is it always criticizing you? Try to make it more supportive. Instead of, "I'm so stupid for making that mistake," try, "I'm learning and getting better every day." Now, focusing on the good doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing where to put your energy. You can acknowledge challenges without letting them take over your thoughts. It's like driving a car. You need to be aware of obstacles on the road, but you keep your main focus on where you want to go. As you practice focusing on the good stuff, you might notice some interesting changes. You might start feeling happier and more optimistic. You might find yourself handling stress better. And here's the really cool part. You might start noticing more opportunities coming your way. It's not that these opportunities weren't there before. It's that now you're in the right mindset to see them and take advantage of them. Remember, what you focus on grows. So if you focus on problems and lack, you'll see more of that in your life. But if you focus on opportunities and abundance, that's what will expand in your life. It's like the universe is saying, "Oh, you like good stuff? Here's more of it." This doesn't mean you'll never have bad days or face challenges. That's just part of life. But by training yourself to focus on the good, you're building resilience. You're creating a positive foundation that will help you bounce back quicker when tough times do come. So I challenge you to start focusing on the good stuff in your life. Start small if you need to. Maybe just try to notice one good thing each day. As you practice, it'll get easier and more natural. And before you know it, you might find your whole outlook on life shifting in amazing ways. Now let's talk about something really exciting, the cycle of creation. This is where everything we've discussed so far comes together to help you actively shape your reality. Understanding this cycle can be a game changer in your life. So what is the cycle of creation? Well, most people live their lives in a reactive cycle. They look at their current situation, react to it emotionally, often negatively, and then that reaction shapes their future experiences. It's like being on a hamster wheel. You keep running, but you're not really getting anywhere new. Here's how it usually goes. You wake up and see your messy house. You think, "Ugh, my life is such a mess." That makes you feel down. Because you're feeling down, you don't have the energy to clean up or do anything productive. The house gets messier, confirming your belief that your life is a mess, and the cycle continues. But here's the exciting part. You can flip this cycle around and use it to create the life you want. Instead of reacting to what is, you can start by imagining what could be. This is the cycle of creation. Here's how it works. First, you start with the image of what you want. Let's say you want to feel more abundant. You imagine yourself feeling financially secure, generous, and free from money worries. Next, You align your thoughts and feelings with this image. You might tell yourself, I am worthy of abundance, or money flows easily into my life. You cultivate feelings of gratitude and excitement about the abundance that's coming your way. Then, the universe starts to reflect this back to you. Maybe you notice a coin on the sidewalk, or a friend offers to treat you to lunch. These are small signs, but they're showing you that abundance is possible. Instead of dismissing these signs, you acknowledge them. You think, yes, this is evidence that abundance is flowing into my life. This reinforces your positive thoughts and feelings, and as you keep this up, bigger changes start to happen. Maybe you get a raise at work, or a new business opportunity comes your way. Your financial situation starts to improve. The key is to keep your focus on what you want to create, not on what currently is. This doesn't mean ignoring your current reality. You still need to pay your bills and handle your responsibilities. But you're not letting your current situation define what's possible for you. Now, this might sound a bit like magical thinking, but it's not about sitting back and waiting for the universe to deliver everything to you. You still need to take action. The difference is that you're taking inspired action from a place of possibility rather than acting out of fear or desperation. For example, if you're trying to improve your financial situation, you might feel inspired to learn new skills, network with successful people, or start a side business. These actions align with your vision of abundance, and they open up new opportunities. Remember, change doesn't usually happen overnight. It's a process. There might be setbacks along the way, but if you stick with the cycle of creation, focusing on what you want to create rather than what you're afraid of, you'll start to see amazing changes in your life. Now that we've covered the big ideas, let's talk about some practical things you can do every day to trust the universe more and unlock your inner power. These are simple practices, but they can have a big impact if you do them consistently. First, start your day with intention. Before you even get out of bed, take a few moments to set an intention for the day. It could be something like, today I choose to focus on the good things in my life, or today I'm open to new opportunities for growth and abundance. This sets a positive tone for your day and reminds you to stay aligned with what you want to create. Second, practice mindfulness. This doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours, although that's great if you want to. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths and really paying attention to what you're doing, whether it's eating breakfast, walking to work, or talking to a friend. Mindfulness helps you stay present and aware, which makes it easier to notice the good things happening around you. Third, keep a gratitude journal. Each night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for a delicious meal, a kind word from a stranger, or a beautiful sunset. This practice helps train your brain to focus on the positive and reinforces your trust in the universe. Fourth, use affirmations. Choose a few positive statements that resonate with you and repeat them to yourself throughout the day. You might say them out loud, write them down, or just think them silently. Some examples could be, I am worthy of love and abundance, or the universe is always working in my favor. These affirmations help reshape your beliefs and expectations. Fifth, take inspired action. Pay attention to your intuition and the opportunities that come your way. When you feel a nudge to do something, maybe reach out to an old friend, apply for a job, or start a new project, follow through on it. These intuitive nudges are often the universe guiding you towards your goals. Sixth, practice letting go. This can be tough, but it's important. Sometimes we hold on to things, relationships, jobs, possessions, that no longer serve us because we're afraid of the unknown. But when you trust the universe, You can release what's not working, knowing that you're making space for something better. Remember, the key to all of these practices is consistency. You don't have to do them perfectly, and you don't have to do all of them every day. But the more you can incorporate them into your daily life, the more you'll start to see positive changes. Now, I want to share a personal story with you about how trusting the universe changed my life. A few years ago, I was stuck in a job I hated. Every day felt like a struggle, and I was constantly stressed and unhappy. I knew I wanted to do something different, something that felt more meaningful, but I was scared to make a change. One day, I decided to start applying the principles we've been talking about. I began visualizing myself in a job I loved, doing work that made a difference. I started saying affirmations like, "I am worthy of work that fulfills me," and "the perfect opportunity is coming my way." At first, nothing seemed to change, but I kept at it. I practiced gratitude, even for the small things in my current job. I started paying attention to what really interested me, what made me feel alive. Then, out of the blue, a friend mentioned a workshop about a field I'd always been curious about, but never seriously considered as a career. Something told me to go, even though it meant using up some of my savings. That workshop changed everything. I met people who were doing the kind of work I dreamed of. I learned about opportunities I never knew existed. And I felt a spark of excitement I hadn't felt in years. Long story short, within a few months, I had left my old job and started on a completely new career path. Was it scary? Absolutely. Were there challenges? You bet. But for the first time in a long time, I felt like I was on the right path. Looking back, I can see how trusting the universe opened me up to possibilities I wouldn't have seen otherwise. It gave me the courage to take risks and follow my intuition. And while my life isn't perfect now, whose is? I feel a sense of purpose and fulfillment I never had before. I'm sharing this story because I want you to know that change is possible. It might not happen overnight, and it might not look exactly like you expect. But when you start trusting the universe and working with it instead of against it, amazing things can happen. We've covered a lot of ground in this journey to unlock your inner power and trust the universe for wealth and success. We've explored the universal mirror principle, learned about the importance of our relationship with the universe, discussed the need for patience and trust, emphasized the power of focusing on the good stuff, and discovered how to use the cycle of creation to shape our reality. Remember, trusting the universe isn't about passively waiting for good things to happen. It's about actively aligning yourself with the abundance and opportunities that are always available to you. It's about shifting your mindset from one of lack and limitation to one of possibility and potential. This journey isn't always easy. There will be times when you doubt, when you're tempted to fall back into old patterns of thinking. That's okay. It's part of the process. The key is to keep coming back to these principles, to keep practicing, even when it feels challenging. Start small. Maybe choose one area of your life where you'd like to see changes and apply these principles there. Notice the little shifts that start to happen. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. And remember, you're not alone in this. The universe is always supporting you, always responding to the energy you put out. As you learn to trust more, to focus on the good, to stay patient even when things seem slow, you'll start to feel that support more and more. Your inner power is immense. You have the ability to shape your reality in amazing ways. By trusting the universe and working with it, you're tapping into a source of wisdom and abundance that can transform your life. So I encourage you to take what you've learned here and put it into practice. Be patient with yourself, but also be persistent. Trust the process. And most importantly, trust yourself. You have everything you need within you. to create the life you desire. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I believe in you, and I know that as you start to trust the universe more, you'll discover just how powerful you truly are. Here's to your journey of unlocking your inner power and creating a life filled with wealth, success, and joy.